In Oppenheimer, I can remember, because it's so recent, it sticks in my mind, there was two phrases that Chris used very early on in the movie. One was, and I was kind of struggling, it's a very, very complex moral journey that Oppenheimer goes on, it's wild. He used this phrase to me, he said, he's dancing between the raindrops. And that kind of unlocked something in my mind about how to play him. Such a succinct but comprehensive note. And that's why he's a brilliant, brilliant director,
Everything that has ever been done at the highest level on any other film I've ever done was all done simultaneously and then some. Context is so critical. The timing of the Manhattan Project, the need for it, the deployment of it, necessary or not, you can read plenty of data that would support either. But regardless, the why can be debated, but the here we are now is that's the cold hard truth. So being able to under Chris Nolan's direction, kind of invite the audience to be involved in this meditation. It's kind of, we all know the films over the last 50 years that have kind of been important in that way, as well as entertaining and thrilling and kind of just cool to watch. And I guess that's the transcendent thing about certain films, And so I got to be in one. Yay.
I came to read Kai Bird and Martin Schoen's American Prometheus, which is a book that they wrote and researched over 25 years. It won the Pulitzer Prize. So it's a very, very well-written, well-researched, authoritative, account of Oppenheimer. And that gives you confidence. Okay, well, we could base our telling on this
view of nature.
For exactly that reason. It's a strange view of nature. It was a time of, as you know, radical reinvention of the way in which we describe the universe around us, the way in which we understand the universe. Clash ultimately between classical physics and quantum physics, which has still never been reconciled. The idea is we want to see how radical this thinking was. You want to see this guy almost like an apprentice magician, when he's sort of meeting Niels Bohr. It's kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something. It's like he's visualizing these things and he's sort of feeling these things that he can just about understand or begin to play with, but it's almost, we want it to feel like an almost frightening insight. So these guys are looking at the stuff around us and they're seeing energy. And that energy and that thing that he's seeing, ultimately the thread runs right the way through to the destructive power of the atomic bomb. And so really wanted to come back and start from that smallest thing. And one of the first conversations I had about the imagery of it was with a great physicist called Robert Dygroff. He was the director of the Institute for Advanced Study, and I went to scout it because that's where Oppenheimer was director for many years. And he said this, for me, very frightening thing. He said, well, one of the things that was alienating about it for some physicists was you can no longer visualize the atom. That's frightening to a filmmaker who's about to embark on a film where one of the first tasks is visualizing the atom.